such a fragile thing, I know.
Hello and welcome to the Myall Lakes. So I'm about to head off on a 3-day paddle around the lakes, camping in a couple of different locations. And really this trip's an excuse for me to, well, not only go for a paddle, but just to get all the gear out and make sure everything still works and that I still work ready for my continuation of the Murray River in about 4 or 5 weeks time. So anyway, I better get all my gear down here. It's looking a bit choppy, so I better start packing and start making my way around to the campsite tonight, which is at Shelly Beach campsite.
And with the winter comes the ice, the snow, but I'm here to hold. And oh, my love, don't worry about the cold just yet.
Well, that's been very pleasant actually. I have just paddled from about there, which is Mungo Brush. It's been about 4k crossing across the lake. And yeah, been a bit choppy, but it's been very nice actually, because having gear in the boat, which I haven't had for a while, it means the boat sits a lot lower in the water and makes it a lot more sturdy and less bouncy. So I'm quite enjoying paddling a heavier boat, and yeah, it's nice to know the muscle memory kind of remembers what long paddles in a heavy boat's like, and I've kind of just got into my groove straight away, which is a good sign. Anyway, I'm going to keep paddling up around some of these wiggly parts of the lake and then head to Shelly Beach for the night, which is a very nice campsite that I've stayed at before. And yeah, a little bit later on I'll show you on the map where we are and where we're going.
The trees haven't started to shed, just feel the summer sun as it warms our bed.
So I've just pulled into Makaway Bay camping area, which is my camping spot for tomorrow night, or the one I booked. But I'm glad I pulled in here, because if you have a look at this, these are the designated camping sites. And I don't particularly want to camp in that. And also, there's probably going to be a lot of mosquitoes here, so I'm going to keep an eye out for another spot while I paddle around to Shelly Beach, and hopefully Shelly Beach isn't in the same sort of condition. But there are a couple of other big campsites that are generally used by water skiers and caravans, but they're going to be probably in a better condition. And because tonight is Sunday night and tomorrow is Monday night, hopefully there won't be so many people there. Anyway, nothing to worry about, just change of plans. I jinxed myself earlier saying that the weather's been lovely, because I've got the headwind now, so it's screwing me across the lake, and I'm going to fight against this for probably most of the rest of the paddle today. That's alright, sun's out, all still very pleasant. Headwind has now become a tailwind, which is great because it's basically going to push me all the way around the corner to where my campsite is. So I think I've got about 5k's left to do, and I'm drifting at 3k's an hour with just the wind, so it's going to make it a very easy afternoon, hopefully. One of the reasons I love this campsite so much is that you can only access it via water or by hiking in. You can't drive in here, so as a result it is a huge campsite and I have it all to myself, it appears. So I'm kind of just working out which is the best piece of grass to set up my camp, as well as nice river access. So I'm thinking probably down here looks good. Morning, it's about, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning, and a very lovely evening. I didn't have too many mozzies, a few March flies around. So today it looks like there's a bit of a strong westerly coming through, which is pretty much the wrong direction for what I want to do today, because I'm basically going to be paddling to the west. I was going to go and do a bit of a lap of the lake, but I think I might just sort of cut my way across the lake and then stick to the shores and paddle on down to the next campsite. So probably only a couple of hours of paddling, or maybe 3 or 4 hours paddling, and then yeah, gonna have another chill out at another campsite. So this wind is pretty strong. So as you can see across the lake there, it's all a bit rough, not too bad, but I was planning to go right up back there and then do a loop around to the campsite, but instead I think I'm just going to track along the coast here and then head down to the campsite. So it's only about 10 k's away, but that's alright. I'm just going to go and chill out. This isn't really so much about the paddling, it's more about getting all the gear together and testing the gear out. Alright, I'm about to be washed into these trees, so I better get paddling. It's amazing the difference that being on the other side of the lake makes, because now that we're on the western side, you can see not much wind at all, so turning into a lovely day. Well, it's not even lunchtime and I'm already at the campsite, well, the one I've decided I'm going to take. So this is Violet Hill Campsite. It's got a boat ramp just down there. Normally on a weekend this place is packed and really busy, but being it's a Monday, it's not got anybody here at the moment. So got a nice picnic table and a whole lot of grass to choose from to put my tent on. So perfect place to spend the day hanging out. Morning. It's the third day of my paddle. I don't know if I can count them as days when I'm only doing a few hours a day of paddling. But anyway, it's bright and early, so I got on the water well and truly before sunrise, purely to get away from the mosquitoes actually. I went to bed, well, went into the tent at about 7 last night, and at about 5 I decided I'd had enough, so it was time to get out on the water and avoid all those mozzies. Plus it means I can have my, I can get into Hawk's Nest and have a late brunch and have a nice coffee. So lovely evening though, very quiet at the campsite, and yeah, only the mozzies were the pain in the ass, but they only kicked in quite late in the evening. Anyway, I am going to get paddling while the water is so nice and glassy, and hopefully we won't get those headwinds that we had yesterday. Well, I certainly don't have any wind today. As you can see, it's particularly glassy. Be interesting to see what it's like when I'm crossing the main lake in about half an hour or so. But yeah, gorgeous morning. Well, that's the main lake there, which was the one that I crossed the other day. And as you can see, looks pretty glassy as well, so this is going to be a fairly cruisy crossing, I'd say. Yeah, there's definitely no wind out here. This is very, very, very pleasant. Well, that's been a very successful few days on the Myall lakes. Beautiful weather. I guess the mozzies and the march flies were the only downside, but that's to be expected this time of year. Anyway, I did about 50-55 k's overall, which isn't that much, but as I've said before, this was more about getting the gear all checked out and sorting that out, and it's all in pretty good shape. There's a couple of dry bags that are a bit mouldy and a few holes to patch, and the tent floor may need to be looked at because I think it may be absorbing water a little bit too much. But other than that, everything is hunky-dory. Anyway, I will see you in about a month's time on the Murray River. I'm heading off to get some breakfast now, so I'll catch you later. See ya.